Drinking girls' drinks.
Okay.
Just to establish where we at, it's Saturday. It's not for the boys. It is the Durban July today, but we thought we just had a really good topic, and we thought we'd just hop on the potty before everyone arrives for something.
Before we go horse racing.
Before we go racing.
Yeah.
So okay, I want to talk about the topic
distractions.
for today. Is
it productivity?
It's pretty much productivity, but structured in a different way.
Okay.
Because all of us, I realized all of us are so different. And Zach said it the other day in our other podcast, but he said it really nicely. And he's like, we all have such different, not just paths, but the way we even live our lives. It's such a crazy thought that we even are friends.
Yeah, I know.
We should not be friends. And it's because we all get shit done. No one says something and doesn't do it. We all well, except Josh when he says I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock. That's
Well, I'm
about
just gonna
it.
be there.
But I mean, dream wise, if we've ever dreamt of something, we've done it. You know what I mean? Or at least we are working towards it every day of our lives.
Yeah, I think that's where we found we could probably have so many disagreements on so many topics, but we'll always find common ground back on. And it's not even...
We don't even have to find common ground. That's the best part.
Yeah, I know.
It's we believe different things,
Yeah.
and yet we still friends.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, something that holds it all together there.
One thing I read, it's going to be off topic, but someone said in a podcast that I heard the other day that your dreams are your the highest point that you're going to possibly reach, right? So if you dream small and most times you'll fall short of your dreams because that's the pinnacle. And if you dream small and you fall short, then you're going to be crap. But if you dream to the most intensive point,
unachievable level,
because he said if
you're still going to be above the rest.
Yeah, if you dream of being the president, then you might be the mayor. But if you dream of being the mayor, you're just going to be the pleb in the house.
I literally just read something that Elon Musk said this morning, and it's always Elon who says the best shit. But he said if you have your 10-year goal and you've just sat there and you've accepted that that's going to take 10 years, then that's going to take 10 years. But if you try achieving in 6 months, then you're going to fall short, but you're going to be a way further ahead than if you just sat there working for 10 years.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I found myself sitting down and being I actually had a lot more time in my day at certain times, certain days. I had a lot more when they're slow days, a lot more time to actually accomplish things that could have been a lot more productive. And you do. Sometimes I find myself wasting moments of my day where it could have been a lot more productive, and then going on what you say, that way you'd be able to accomplish so much more quicker. You know, I think it's often I find myself saying I wasted 45 minutes of my day doing
nothing.
Well, no, it might not be nothing. It might be something, but it's
So
not as
this is
productive
where
to
we
the goal.
all-
It's not
this is
productive
where
to the
why I'm
goal.
excited for this conversation is because we all see things so differently. We really do. In everything we do every day. Jason can work for 12 hours straight on one task. And the way he talks about it is that he couldn't do it any other way. And I got asked the other day, how do I focus on 4 different things and stay motivated? And I said to Jace, I brought it up and I was I don't think I could stay motivated if it was just one thing. I would get over it. And then that thing would have been wasted. Whereas if I start one project and that is the only thing, uni, when I was at uni, it's only one thing that you have to focus on to be able to pass. And that's why near the end, I was failing, is because I had a business I wanted to start. And you can't, engineering, you can't focus on 2 things. You have to focus on engineering. And I couldn't do that. If I could have studied part-time, even quarterly time, quarter of the time, and it took 10 times longer, I could have aced it. You know what I mean? If I could have focused on other things, because I need to spread that time out and also spread my attention across other things. Because then when I go back to that other thing, I'm 100% focused. If I stayed on that thing, it would go from 100%, 90%, 80%. And then eventually I'm working for 3 hours getting almost nothing done.
Yeah.
When I could have worked for 1 hour, got 100% done, and then in 3 hours after I've done 2 other tasks, I'd do another hour, and then I've done more in those 2 hours than I would have in 4 hours on one task. You know what I mean? Whereas Jason said he was sitting in the car, he was I can't break. He has to literally know that for the next 4 hours, nothing's going to interrupt him. And I literally hope for interruptions because then I come back.
No,
We've clarified this.
It's the type of role that I have to do, because if I start focusing on something, 20 minutes before I start is me trying to get my mind back into that task, right? So like if I need to think about 5 different things, because in 90% of the work I do, it's not just one task. It's a task that, for example, in development will be impacting there and there and there and there. So I have to consider all those things. So I have to sit and figure out the path that it's going to impact the whole way through. So that's 20 minutes of my day just doing
finding the starting point.
Exactly. So if I'm doing this and that, every time I come back, it's going to be another 20-minute refresh, which is just...
So when it comes to sex, do you have 20 minutes where you just sit down and you just get your...
He establishes the moment.
You establish the moment.
So it's been 6 months leading to this.
It's one path.
What has led to this?
It's one path in about 5 seconds on a good day. So it's not something I concern myself with. But what you were saying is an interesting thing that I've been thinking about recently, like a sort of a life hack, is that sometimes I'm not productive like you, and I'll sit there and I'm
like me.
No, you said
I don't. The fuck do you mean?
You heard what I said. But that I feel like I'm sitting there and it's a slug, and I'm trying to get through my work and it's not going the way I want to, and it's 3 hours down and I've done like half an hour's worth of work, right? And I'll spend that time getting frustrated, not getting the stuff done. But now I've realized if I just say, okay, cool, I'm getting distracted, it's not working, I'll switch a task. Like it can be something stupid like cleaning my cupboards, or even just saying, I'm just going to watch a movie, right? Because if you think, I'm just going to keep slugging through this, you're not going to get the productivity done. Yeah. And then after the day, you're also not going to feel rested. You're going to feel stressed. Yeah. Because I didn't take a break, but I also didn't get anything done, right? Yeah. So if you take that time and say, cool, I'm not productive, I can either do this task or I can take that rest. Then at the end of the day, you say, I feel rested, so tomorrow I'm going to be even better. Yeah. But if you try and like trudge through, you're going to get into the cycle of, cool, I'm not productive, so I'm stressed. Not productive, and then it's just like a cyclical thing.
You can get mixed up between efficiency and effectiveness of like what you're doing. You think like being efficient that's like more on the productivity side, but how effective you actually are in those moments. That's what you're touching on there.
The reason I wanted to talk about this was that I wanted people, like I think a lot of people will be able to relate to where we all started. Like, firstly, Jace was also, like we always talk about him like this, but you were like a loose cannon. Like your parents used to be like, you need to stop drawing. Like stop drawing. And now, like today, it's the July and we were going to go do something. And Jay's like, I don't want to go out. I'm not going out. And like, it's not for any health reasons or like any moral reasons. He just doesn't feel like it. And then he just doesn't go out. So like, it's going from like something like that, like where you were just like, whatever was happening, he was there. Like jawling from Thursday till Sunday every week during matric, and then becoming like this. And me, not that I do the same, but like going from like saying I'm going to do stuff to like doing everything I say. You know what I mean? Even though I have like my hours where I just want to chill and stuff, it's because I wake up at 4 a.m. and I get most of my work done before everyone's even awake. And then like if I want to chill in the afternoons, shit's done. You know what I mean? And like, it's two different ends that like kind of meet in the middle where stuff still gets done, but like we both started where like it was like, what the fuck are we gonna do with our lives? You know what I mean?
Go for it.
I think it's important to have those moments where you're like, well, what am I gonna do, or how am I gonna get to that point? Because like my dad used to say, make your bed, do this, and I was what's the point? I'm gonna get in again tonight. It's gonna be messy. What's the point of making my bed, right? And he used to get so pissed off with me.
My dad used to say the same.
Now he looks at me and he goes, how did you end up here? And I said to him, I had to go through that to end up here because I had to understand for myself why I needed to do those things. If you had just told me, there's no point in it because now I'm just following rules. If I understand why I was doing those things to begin with, now I can understand why I'm doing them going forward, and I can keep doing
everything
them.
else.
Do you think that the reason why that question was asked is because your parents learned their lessons differently to how you learned them?
Yeah, we all do.
I mean, how did they learn to make their bed?
My dad's was the army.
Exactly. That's why I think it's so far apart.
But like he's learned that, but he'll never say that before that he didn't make his bed. You know what I mean? It'll just be this thing that he magically learned, and he may have learned it at 21 when he was in the army, but now you must know it at 8 years old just because he learned the lesson at 21. You know what I mean? And he doesn't explain, and he probably doesn't know why. He just got taught. You make your bed in the morning, that's it. You know what I mean? Now he's like imprinting it on you. Whereas like everyone, I mean, there are people I've seen kids get raised by parents, the exact same parents, the exact same way, and then one kid turns out to be this chartered accountant and another kid turns out to be like an absolute waste of space. You know what I mean? And like, it doesn't come down to that. It literally comes down to how you take your lessons in life. You know what I mean? If you are going to learn them, or you're just going to keep letting them just hit you in the face. You know what I mean?
But that's flexibility of learning though as well, because at the same time for the parents, it's about adapting to the way someone else needs to learn their lessons, right? If you just do something for people, some people will go, oh, that's a cool way of doing it, and do it the same. Other people will rebel and say, I'm not going to do that, right? Yeah. So it's about adapting to the kid and letting them almost stumble in a controlled manner. You don't teach them how to go exactly there.
Yeah,
you don't
let them stumble in a
you don't say this is how you run, and you don't go to your kid and move its legs. You let it stumble and fall over, but you just say you get from here to here, and it starts to learn how to walk, right?
Yeah.
If you had to try and teach every kid to run or walk in the exact same way,
Joint by joint, how to move your ankle, how to move your knee. It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. Yeah. You have to let them figure it out, but in a controlled manner. So you also have to not just let them go, here's free reign.
Fall down the stairs.
Yeah. You have to give them a point to walk to.
Yeah, you have to let them fall on their face so that they identify how strong their teeth are.
That's what it is, buddy.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it? A little bit of brain damage. But it's with us as well. I know we talk about like kids, but essentially we also are our own kids. We've got to be responsible for ourselves. There's something in us that's primordial, that doesn't have concepts of things. It's just driven by what's the word I'm looking for? Almost by passion. No, but by just instinct.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just want to do that. I just want to do that. And then you have to stop and say, calm down. Where am I? What do I have to do in this situation?
So this is what I wanted to get into, right? Is the how. Because if someone can relate to the way I do things and how I've gone from lazy to getting stuff done, and someone can relate to how you're doing it, and I want to know how you saw you getting to this point. Like, I know how you are now, like with your structure, you do every single thing, you tick it off. Like every day is like the same structure.
I think it's the same as me. A lot of it's fear driven. Like a lot of it.
We have talked about that.
Fear driven.
We have talked about that on the podcast. I'm saying like how you actually went. Like, what are the structures you put into your day
to get it
like
going?
To get stuff going, to get anything going.
Do you still
like
keep a diary of different aspects of your life that you're trying to cover? Social, spiritual. Do you still keep I know you were putting together like a checklist of things you need to do for the business, but do you still do that for your life, or have
my
you done?
Journaling?
Yes, yeah.
I haven't really done it so much recently, just because we've been so
When
busy.
did we speak about journaling, boys? That's the truth.
So I'm micro journal on my phone.
Yeah,
and like you can
it's
see,
quicker.
even
It's
today,
like it's the 21st fucking century. Let's be honest.
Well, like for me, I watched this really cool podcast, and this guy was like a druggo, like failure, right?
The Hoopla
and now
Show.
he's like, yeah, pretty much. But he talks about like how he watched the guy that talks about how to stop drinking, right? And I forgot the name of the podcast. Something about drinking, stop drinking, or something like that. But this guy talks about how if you're doing things that you'd normally do, right? But now you're taking alcohol away, you're just going to be depressed. So you need to do something completely different,
new. Yeah.
and then you won't be. So he talks about like social media, like you always checking your phone, and I know I'm always checking my phone because most of our stuff is done on social media. We have like 7 pages altogether. You know what I mean? Like we're checking it constantly. We don't need to. Like I know half the time I don't need to. When I do need to, there'll be a notification. So now when I go on and there's no notification, but I'm already opening my phone, I'll go into notes and I'll have the date there, and I'll just write a little thing. Like this morning was like, it hasn't even been 2 minutes since I checked it last, and I'm already journaling again. You know what I mean? Like it's like taking me through my day. And like at the end of the day, if you read through it, the next day you probably you'll laugh at yourself that night. Like, fuck, I have a problem. And the next day you'll pay even more attention to these moments. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Jace got me into a little checklist as well. Like Jason and I very much are just meeting in the middle with everything, and like I've started just like, he's like, you need to just set a time, and now it's the night before, I'll like write down the little points of all the things I need to do, and then the next morning, usually while I'm gymming, I will like remember 3 or 4 things, so I'll like add in between the checklist because it'll like stress me out while I'm like lifting weights. I'll be like, oh my fuck, I forgot about that. Then I'll add it all, and then when we get to work, it's like then I sit with my phone and I can like tick it all off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like he's got me into that, and that is like really, when I say it's like half my stress, I cannot recommend enough for someone who like me just wings the day. Like you think you're getting shit done, but now I get shit done by like 10 in the morning and I've done everything. It's just like phone this person, like reply to this email. Like sometimes you get email at like 6 in the evening the day before, and then you get it and you're like, I'll reply to it tomorrow.
Emails feels like such a hack, eh?
Yeah.
That does. There's something about an email that's just like,
It's a mission.
you know it's going to take 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Why have they not made an email app that's as quick as WhatsApp?
Yeah. I know.
Why does it take time to load and time to send
It's
a
the
message?
formalizing of the
the
message.
same
That's
size,
the,
though.
That's the problem. It's having to formalize.
But I'm saying even the sending and the opening, bro. Like, go open Outlook right now. It fucking takes 10 seconds to open. Go
Ask
open
you for
WhatsApp.
access code, and
boom,
then your Google
everything's
authenticates,
there.
and then you're fucking.
Dude, it is the most whack thing. Just make a fucking functional
Yeah,
app.
fuck you, email.
Yeah, Outlook.
You tell
fuck
Google,
you.
Microsoft. You tell
Guys,
them.
if you know these guys,
Yeah.
hook us up. We need a sponsorship.
Yeah, this is not sponsored by Volta
Jason
Hard
can't
Salsa.
have calories. He's just shredded for life.
Yeah,
He
that-
can't have. Joss needs calories. So if you know Black Label, if
them
you
on
know
as well.
SAB, hook him up, brother, with the carbs.
straight drip to the straight IV.
But with your checklist, the other thing that I don't even know where I heard this or read this or what it was, but it was people.
Reddit.
He asked,
No, it's
so he
possible.
because what he asked you, he said to you like, how did you get yourself to that point? And like one thing I do know is that how anything gets done in my life, anything, even if it gets done or if it doesn't, but it's all in the preparation. It's all in the preparation. So the same thing would have come down to, would have boiled down to the same thing in at that point in your life when you're making those decisions or you're going through the changes or you're having some sort of mental shift, that it was that, right?
I don't know. It wasn't to where I got to for like the general foundations of where I am.
I can't even picture.
It wasn't
Jason's change.
It wasn't
Was it?
it wasn't so much a conscious thing. I don't think I wasn't fully conscious at that point. I wouldn't say I wasn't very self-aware.
Was it uni? Was it during uni?
Yeah, it was during uni. It was getting out of school was a
Was
a
that
big
your
thing.
awakening?
I wouldn't say awakening either because I was still jolling a lot in first year. I was still going out. I was still drinking all the time.
Were you aware, okay? So when you were jolling at that time, were you aware of what you were doing? Were you like this? What the time that I'm spending now, how it's going to implicate my future, or were you just like, fuck it, I'm jolling?
I think it got to a point where I felt
Bro,
stagnant.
if there's American people listening to me, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
what is jeweling?
You're jeweling.
Yeah,
You got an accent.
When they
It's
zol.
partying.
But I think I just felt myself like,
Zol.
you know, when you get home and you're just like, oh, I didn't really need to do that. That's where it started getting to that point.
when you got home?
Yeah, it would be like, oh, did I really need to go out? Like I didn't
Jason
really
has
need
that
to.
feeling all the time, bro. If I go out with my friends, it's like never a regret. I've like done it because it's been like 6 days of hard work.
I get home and I'm like, that was
No, it's not
Yeah.
every time. No, this is just when it's been too much. I'm just like, I thought it was going to make me feel a certain way, and then I realized I was just doing it because that's what was expected
what
to be
everyone
done.
was doing.
So
as
then,
well.
then I started saying no to certain things like going out and stuff, and it was a big portion of it was my studies because I really wanted to do well in them. School was a fun time. I had a good
you
time
wanted
in
to do
school.
well in your studies
you had
because
fun
you
in
wanted to
school.
do well, or because you had pressure to do well.
No, I didn't have pressure to do that well.
So there was no expectation of Jason van Dijk coming out of.
No, his buddy's very like work hard, but it's like
You do
you're
you.
free.
Is
like
it?
you are free,
Okay.
but like I
It's
think it's
your
more
mistakes.
respect thing.
100%.
But
Like he
There
would
we go,
hate to
you're
go
right.
to his dad
And say that he
and
fucked
say
up.
that.
There we go.
His dad wouldn't even be upset. He'd just be like,
No
"That's a
expectation.
fuck
It
up."
was a
Like,
respect thing. That's
yeah,
I didn't.
Bro, his buddy demands respect. Like it's cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's sick. It's like you have full reins of your life, but like
I must say the respect was thrown out the window at the end of the last higher event.
No,
Your dad and I had a good chat after the higher event, Shangweni.
walking a little bit bumpy.
Sad.
Yeah. No, but it was never because in school I didn't do particularly well in my high school career or even junior school. I wasn't doing. My marks weren't great. I was bottom set in certain things.
I threw potential away at school.
Yeah.
But I'm very like I think if I got the marks I could have got, I would have become something I would have hated. I really think that. Like if I'd really like, I mean, some of the subjects I never studied once, and like for like maths, I was getting straight A's for a while, you know. And like if I'd put in the effort, they would have said like, you could be at this, you could be at this, and I would have been amped and probably been that, and I would have hated my life.
I know that I don't like my own company if I haven't fulfilled my obligations in the day. I don't actually like my own company. I feel that Like I don't want to be around.
You're going to bed.
Yeah, no, like that's it. Like it is. It's. I mean, don't you agree with that? Like if you, at the end of the day, if you feel you didn't fulfill every obligation,
that is such a hectic thing, bro.
No, it's true. I don't like my own company.
Get that as a tattoo. If I haven't fulfilled my obligations, I don't like my own company.
Yeah, because I'm like,
get on my face.
That's gone off.
I think that just started.
oh, we still got
The
audio.
camera or the screen?
Just the screen.
Oh,
Shall I go check it?
Check it. I just thought flash. Do you want another drink?
No. Do you?
I'll just have my water.
No, we will. I mean, we will. Are you gonna have another one? Because we sponsored. Because we want to be
Just to
sponsored.
keep consistency.
Keep them happy. In the future.
Yeah, so we aren't sponsored by the guys, but we're gonna ask, and if we don't get it, then you know what type of company they are.
Jeez, you can't say that.
That you know how they feel about small startups.
South African startups.
See, that's a technique. That's how you get the brands on board, guys.
Yeah, because you know.
Yeah, it's called conning them into it.
So, what I was going to say is I think the most important thing that got me to where I am is incremental change and consistency. So, I think a lot of people do feel frustrated if they say, oh, I really want to get all of this done. And then they try to take everything on it. It might
I
work.
do that
every
time.
You do three days of it and then
It's
you go.
like I have to cut everything.
Yeah.
Jason, that is.
Gave this guy.
Yeah.
The epiphany you just gave this guy.
No. Literally, that's something I write.
I know.
I journal about
You and I
that.
both.
If I could actually pull out my phone right now, it's like I wish I could show it up like Joe Rogan does, but we don't have the effort to go into that. But literally on my thing, probably yesterday, on my micro journaling in the evening, I said that I take on too much. Like I set my. Actually, I'm going to show you right now. Check it out.
He's gonna type in there, Josh, please. Just
Astronaut. I said I need to learn to not set the bar astronomically high and let myself down.
And I can't achieve it all in one day. Yeah, that's very true, bro.
That is what I do.
Yeah, you like kind of set.
I'm so glad I found out. I was going red. I was so embarrassed, but I actually did.
Don't
It's
set
exactly
yourself
what you
up
said.
for disappointment just because you've got too much on your plate. That
Jason knows I have to cut things, and it's not just one. Like I do it, and I am good at it. But it's like, 50 days was my max. Like I was like, no sugar, no going out, no drinking, save money, and then that point comes, and then one of those 10 things that you've set, you slip up on, and then it's just like you snowball. Like I swear I probably shoved 10 slabs of chocolate down my throat the day I had a sip of alcohol, the day that 50 days broke. I like just was like, I had a sip of probably the worst of the lot, and then I was like, what's chocolate? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it is, like it stops everything. Like just do one thing. And then when you get that one thing right, add a second thing.
Yeah,
that's what Jason.
That's the consistency.
That's Jason.
Because if you try and say like, I really want to do, just for example, if you say every night I want to clean the kitchen, the whole kitchen, right? You think
He's trying to tell me to clean the kitchen.
it's an ongoing battle. We
You're
haven't
such a liar.
we haven't won yet.
You're lying, bro. The last 5 days.
It's the same as check on my phone. No.
This
just
morning?
wait for me.
You're
Don't worry, I
such a
will find
liar.
it. I will.
You're such a liar. I've been.
Okay.
Don't do this to me. And this is public.
Yeah, I only tell the truth.
What are you talking about?
I'm joking.
You're such a liar.
No, but if you try and if you're gonna try and do the whole kitchen in one go, that first night you might get it done because it's exciting. Your adrenaline's going, but you do because you get excited because your dopamine's gonna rush because you're getting a task done, right?
Yeah.
And then the second night you had maybe a bit of a longer day, and now you're looking at the kitchen. You're like, oh shit, I have to. If I start trying to pack that away, I'm gonna have to also wipe the counters down. I'm gonna have to also do that, and it becomes too much. Then you go, oh shit, I just can't do it all. And then what's the point of even starting, right? But if you say like, I really want to clean the kitchen, so tonight I'm just going to pack away the dishes. That's all you have to do for that night. Now you get comfortable. It's not if you get home from work, it's a long day. It's just like, cool, if I just have to pack away the dishes, that's all I have to do. It's not a difficult task. Then once you get comfortable with it, it's a routine. You say, okay, cool. Then I'm also going to wipe down the counters because I've packed the dishes away.
Yeah.
Then you've got two things and it becomes normality.
Yeah.
So this guy, I'm gonna find the podcast because it's really good. And people better watch this. But this guy talks about setting your to-do list, right? And he says he has 5 lists. I'm going to list the ones I know, but there's like if you were to do the top things that your like ideal self would do that day, you just write them all down, right? And then you set I can go to bed without feeling absolutely shit about myself list. You know what I mean? That might have like 5 things on it, like get up, brush my teeth, make my bed, like the bottom line. But if you do not get that top list, like if you do not get those 20 things that make you your ideal self, there's nothing to be upset about, because you still did more than that bottom line if you did one extra thing. So yeah, this is
a good way of
yeah.
putting it.
Well, that's Struthless. That's the name of the podcast. But he's fucking good. And like for anyone who's like going out every weekend drinking, has ever been addicted to drugs, and wants to do something with their life, he's like very, very successful now, and he's been through it all, and he just talks from a personal. It's really, really good. But yeah, basically explaining like how to step by step do something like that, and not be upset with yourself while still setting those unachievable goals. Still have your little like, I'm still happy with myself. I didn't just sit on the fucking couch. Yeah, but when you write it down, like Jace makes you aware of it, when you just make it real, then you're not letting yourself down with all these abstract, non-visible thoughts. You know what I mean?
But also understand that humans are made up of like different levels of motivations, and I know that there's like a million theories about it, but everyone agrees that there's different stages of motivation, like, or the human what's the word, actualization is made up of compounding levels. So if you try and say, I really want to do the most extravagant thing on my list because that sounds good to you, you're probably not going to get that done every single day. And then you'll say to yourself, oh, what's the point of putting something so small as brush my teeth today, right? You might say, what's the point of putting it on the list? Or like, oh, it's something so small. But you forget that that's actually still a motivating factor. That's still part of your day that you need to get off, and it should kickstart you that. And a lot of people might battle with depression and things like that, where it's difficult to get out of bed. And they say,
what kickstarts a good day for you, Jason?
Opening my eyes usually, and pre-workout. Tons and tons of.
End up like that.
Normally comes downstairs and he's still.
I've seen him like that. Bro, try wake him up when he's like still like 5:30 or 6, and his alarm didn't wake him up or something. Try walking that door and see Jason's face, bro.
What sets up the ideal day for you?
Me?
Yeah. What like if what would you call the ideal morning where you just like, hey, today's gonna be a good day?
So like these last few weeks, I have been like on my roll, like since Jason mentioned just like creating this checklist, like I have just been adding one extra thing every day. And for me, like I've said it before, but like it's doing something very short that you really don't want to do. Like it's like, so mine was cold showers, but now that's like I really enjoy routine, it. And now it's like become like something I cannot get out the shower without doing it. Now it's 10 minutes meditation. And like I used to try, this is what I said, I used to try I do 10, then 11 the next day, then 12, then try get to 30. And somewhere in between, you like, this is fucking long. You know what I mean? And then you like lose it. Now it's like 10 minutes. I want that 10 minutes to become really easy. You know what I mean? Like the cold showers. And someone was like, I mean, you know, I'm not doing it for spiritual reasons or anything really. I mean, it's a huge plus that they exist, like mental benefits and all of this, but I'm just doing it because like if I can do that and calm my thoughts for 10 minutes and I can do that thing that really agitates me when all I want to do is just get up and reply to emails and check my phone and all of this, if I can like sit down and do that thing I hate and make that feel good first thing in the morning, like you're doing something you really don't want to do, then what is replying? That's 10 whole minutes, right? It's quite long. It's not just a cold shower. Then what is replying to the emails? What is replying to an email or picking up a phone call that's going to last 2 minutes? Like what are all those little things?
Shift your perspective.
So once that's done, that's kickstarted my day to like, I can literally get up and conquer anything. So it's like doing something I don't want to do. Make that thing longer each time. So now it's that 10-minute thing. Then soon it's going to be something I really don't want to do, like go for like a 45-minute run or something, you know. But it can progress. I mean, we do gym and that's become normal. But I mean, like something, I would do something longer that I don't want to do. Because then it's like you can literally conquer anything. And then soon a 10-hour job is not going to be something you don't want to do. It's just going to be a task. You know what I mean? Because you've like stepped it up. So yeah, it's doing something I don't want to do first thing in the morning.
Got it.
And the aim is to make it longer and longer.
Got it.
Then you want to do anything. Everything feels good after that, is
Got
what
it.
I mean.
Nice.
And yourself?
Myself, what kickstarts a great day?
Message
I
from
think-
Jace.
Very
Morning,
true.
sweetheart.
I actually just,
He has very,
I actually
very
just
few
open up
days.
my wallet in the morning, and I've got the
family
the
picture.
Polaroid.
Yeah.
I promise you, I've been at the bar so many times, and someone's asked me like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
It's a guy.
a gay man.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he loved it.
So for me, it's alignment of the day previously. Normally, what messes up or fucks up my day is the fact that something that I could have done yesterday or should have done yesterday wasn't fulfilled. Typically, like a lot of the stuff that I do carries over. For example, if
You don't make a song in a day.
Exactly, because you
Yeah.
don't make a song in a day. So it's like, okay, well, if I get like the first verse and the second verse melody down for today and it's fire, I can go to bed. You know what I'm saying?
I find that
and then
hard.
it's like,
Do you not
is-
find
Yeah.
then if you don't get everything done on the day before that the next day is set up for way more opportunity? So like for me, I get frustrated that day. I'm like,
but-
oh, I didn't get it done. But then
So-
I'm like the next day, I've set the foundations now. I know I can get that done and then get on to the next thing as well.
I think just because my line of work is different, it's not like you do the work and the outcome's there. It's not like you reply to 10
It's not
emails and
definite.
work's done. It's not
Yeah.
definite.
Yeah.
So
Not even a
it's-
good song.
Yeah, exactly.
You're halfway through
Yeah.
and you're like,
Exactly.
fuck, this melody maybe isn't right.
So for me, it's more like a process of the more work I do, the better shot I have of
Yeah.
getting a good melody. So that's why it kind of overflows. If I know that yesterday I spent 40 minutes of my day just throwing melodies behind the microphone like solid, then I would go into it. Number one, I've already got some melodies, or I've got, at least I know where not to go.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of the times you think like you want to go there, but it's also good to know what melodies don't work on the song, you know, and I got to filter through all of those first. So it's just a different line of work. But yeah, pretty much for me, a good day for me starts off with having yesterday, the
clean
day
slate.
prior, a good day. Yeah.
See, I've been thinking about, we talk about motivation
Like it.
and laziness and all those types of things. It's been a thought over the last, what I'll say like month. It's been like I don't know what you want to call it, topic to ponder on, or meditation topic or whatever it may be. But it's about momentum in life. So I journaled about it at some point where you're always going to hit a rut in life. Like you're never going to keep going at the speed that you think you're going to go at. You might be at your optimum and you feel great, but you know this is not sustainable. You're going to hit a rut. And it's all about how fast you can get yourself out of the rut to keep your momentum going, right?
Yeah.
Because you could be journaling every day, or you could be doing something consistently every single day. Then that
There's
one
going to be
slip up,
something.
it's your choice now. You're in a rut. It's your choice to either, you might have to even backtrack a little bit and say, take a step back so that you can, when I journaled about it, it's in more of a poetic way, but it's take a step back, and it's not reversing, it's not going back in life, it's taking a step back so that you can get more momentum to go forward, to get out of the rut and continue going. So being in a rut is not always the most negative thing. It just means maybe this is time to reflect on my situation so that I can get the momentum necessary to keep going forward, right? And that's where I think how to not be lazy or be consistent, it's where it comes from. Knowing that, yeah, there are good days and there are things that you can do, but also you
tie
will,
this all together. Eh?
Yeah.
I love it.
you will slip up. Like
Yeah.
it's undoubtedly that you will slip up. You will hit a rut. If you think you won't, you're lying to yourself. And when you do, you're going to feel even worse. Acknowledge that you will, and also set the baseline so that when you are in that rut, this is the lowest that you can go. We spoke about it in a different concept, which I won't go into, but how you build things in life so that you might refer to it as a safety net, but it is the lowest point that you can possibly fall to.
And you keep making that a little higher each time you grow.
So every time you go and maybe, for example, you gym every single day, right? And then you get sick or whatever and you take 5 days off. The lowest you're going to fall to is probably when it can never get worse than when you start a gym. And chances of you getting all the way back there is slim to none.
Yeah.
You'll have like a new base point about where your physique
But
will
that
get
comes with sticking to your
Yeah.
diet and like not eating shit every day. And like, but that comes with that. It doesn't come just because you decided to train. You know what I mean? That you are placing that safety net there because of hard work.
So maybe sometimes motivation for people can also be, I'm better off than I was, and I can never get back to where I was. That's not where I want. So some people might say, when you're in a good time, looking at where you can go is like the most exciting thing because I have all this potential. But when you stop going forward and you're in a rut, sometimes it's good to look back and say, well, at least I can't go back there.
Yeah.
I've come past that point. And that's your motivation to say, well, cool, maybe I can still get to just that next point. I don't have to get all the way to the target, but just
Yeah.
that next point.
Even if it was where you were a week ago,
yeah,
it's still better than where you were 2 weeks ago.
exactly.
Oh.
And so you've said, like, I'm at this new point.
Dumbing it down
Yeah.
for the
The
people
live,
like
laugh,
me.
love.
Yeah, for me. It's the me's watching. brother.
So it's for me, it's
Jace,
it's a
thanks for wrapping
consistency.
it up.
Yeah.
That was actually,
Pleasure.
it pulled it all together. It was like all of our dumb thoughts
Yeah.
were just put into Jason's final sentence. This podcast could have been 1 minute.
This podcast was
Jason-
sponsored by Jason.
Not Vorta because I don't
Okay.
care about it.
Guys, we off to see the races. Put 10,000 on
Oh wait, before
number
we go,
7.
before we do go, one thing I wanted to say is we obviously didn't do the podcast for a little bit of time while we were busy. We had various reasons why we didn't do it. All of us very busy in life, but there was a good few people that came up to us or messaged us and said, "Guys, when's the next one? Like, we really enjoy watching it." And for us, you don't really see that as much when you're doing it. It's just for fun. We've always said this is just for fun, but when you hear things like that,
No,
Yeah.
it was so
it's
sick.
so impactful.
We had
Definitely.
someone, and I know it's so small to some people, but we had a good friend of our sister, younger sister. When she was here, she saw the sign and she took a picture of it and sent it to her friends. And it was so sick.
As
I
you
was
can
like,
see, guys, my
fuck.
friends aren't handling fame well, and this is
no, it's just like, it's so sick because we just did it for
Yeah,
fun. Like we were
100%.
driving
It
in the
was just-
car and we were like, let's
you
go
phoned
buy
me.
Yeah.
podcast equipment.
you phoned me or
And
voice noted me, and you're like,
It's
Jason,
sick to see that people actually,
Yeah.
like, I mean,
I just-
we
yeah.
enjoy it, obviously, but it's sick to see that other people.
yeah, I just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's
Yeah,
the
we
bottom
enjoy it,
line.
and we don't even get paid.
Yeah.
Well,
Vorta again. Come
Vorta,
on.
please.
Up the game.
look it up.
We really
will
trying.
drink this every single
Every
podcast,
episode.
even if it's 9 a.m. You got
It
us.
is 9 a.m. What are you on about?
Okay, bye.